All right, so real quickly, for those who don't know me, my name is Meredith Orem. I am a fitness and nutrition consultant at Below the Fork, where I encourage women to love themselves towards healthy. I'm also a group fitness instructor, and I'm working on my certification for health coach. So today I want to talk about emotional eating. And I want to give a couple of quick tips, what works for me. And I also just kind of want to be a realistic support. And I do love Scope. Yeah, I don't want it to go away. I like the energy here better than Facebook Live. So, so emotional eating, I think it's something, and I've been on here before. I've talked about how I have a history of disordered eating. It's something that I feel like I've come to terms with, and I'm in a very good place now and have been for several years, but it certainly affected me through high school, through college, after the birth of my first son. That was my way of losing the baby weight, was pretty much starving myself, and that is not a healthy way to do it. And that was totally my issues that I consistently have with wanting to like micromanage everything. And so that was my way of doing that. So I think that is not always, but sometimes can be sort of a predictor or a likelihood of people following into those disordered eating or eating disordered patterns. And I say disordered eating, let me just define that quickly. I say disordered eating when I never got to the point where I needed to be admitted. I never got to the point where it was a major health scare. I did get to the point where I almost passed out a couple times, was dizzy, didn't feel well, but I was able to catch myself just in time because I always had a great support system with my family and friends. So lately, emotional eating has been a thing for me too. And lately, I caught myself yesterday doing it because my 2-year-old, I'm going to be honest here, is stressing me out. He is on a power trip. He is like the stereotypical 2-year-old right now, and just no, and I do it, and not listening, and just, it's nothing out of the norm, but he's 2, and yes, exactly, mini Neapolitans, absolutely. So it's just been really trying for me. And yesterday, I was just like past my brink. I was so impatient. I must have said, shut the door 500 times. And I feel like lately, and my 6-year-old a little bit too, but at least I can reason with him. At least, he knows when he's in the wrong. Not to say that he doesn't always listen or anything like that, but it's just easier to deal with because he's older. But the 2-year-old, like, just, la la la, I'm doing whatever I want. And I feel like now that the door is open, I feel like this happens every year. It's either out of spite so that the neighbors think that I'm like the worst yelly parent and that they're crazy kids, or it's just the excitement of actually having freedom of air and not being locked in. But like, I just feel lately they've been crazy. And so yesterday we had, the slider door open with the screen, enjoying the nice weather, and he kept opening the door and like all these bugs are flying in, and it was just driving me crazy. And I went into the kitchen and I grabbed some potato chips and I started eating, and I was just like, what am I doing? And I was so tempted too to get some wine. And I'm like, what? This is not right. I put all those away and I got my Bible and I sat down, and I was still outside. They were playing in the yard, being their little crazy selves. And I read my Bible instead. And I was just in the book of James, and that's always kind of my go-to because it's such a quick one and there's so much lessons in there. And it deals a lot about like wrath and patience and just, finding level playing field and just breathing and trusting in God. And that is what I needed at that point. And so for me, it has been finding ways to, one, recognize the behavior. If you find yourself emotionally eating, or if you find yourself trying to if you find yourself trying to super micromanage something in terms of your nutrition, we've all been there. We've all, especially those, like I said, have a history of disordered eating or something like that. It's like an alcoholic in a sense that, you gotta catch yourself. You can't go back to those behaviors because you're kind of programmed that way. So it's not to say that you're not gonna like, oh, I'm past it. Like, I'm never gonna have that struggle again. These struggles come and go. And when you have those moments though, the biggest thing is to identify it. Oh yeah, so you relate, you understand. And I pride myself in having overcome a lot of those things, and that's one of the reasons I want to help other women love themselves towards healthy, but it happens, guys. So I caught myself, I was able to redirect the behavior. So it's kind of funny because what was stressing me out was my 2-year-old, but we can learn a lot of, kind of like the parenting skills with kids, in that they're in behavior, they're getting in trouble. What do? We redirect that behavior. We find something else for them to do, because yelling doesn't work, proved yesterday when they would not listen to me. So when you redirect that behavior, you find an opportunity to not only train yourself, but also give yourself the credit that you're able to acknowledge it. Don't then feel guilty and awful for the rest of the day or the week. Like, I could be totally stressed out right now, being like, oh my gosh, I ate like potato chips and whatever. Like, I'm not. In fact, I'm flipping it to the positive perspective in that, no, I caught myself and I redirected my behavior to one that was so positive, because I was in God's word. And really, in any sort of circumstance, right, we should always be going back to God's word. But maybe you have something else that you can redirect yourself in. Even if it's just like getting out of the kitchen, going outside to play, doing something active, whatever your thing is. Be able to identify the issue and then know what your game plan is. So think ahead of it so that you are prepared for if that issue arises. Because even with some of my clients who have experienced this on even larger levels than I have with past like binging disorders, we are always trying to find a way to identify what that replacement direction can be. So I just wanted to come on here quickly today, encourage you guys to come up with a game plan, like a little blueprint, that when the flag goes off, like, I should not be doing this right now, this behavior needs to change, is to finding something else that will, 1, make you stop doing it, and 2, make you feel okay about it, because it happens and it's okay. We are humans. We were made this way to be faulted, and it's okay. Just, try again throughout the day, try again the next day. And, if you ever need someone to talk to, I'm here. And there's several other of my fellow health coaches and life coaches on here that are awesome ladies that would, be more than willing to talk you off the ledge and talk you some, positive encouragement that will help you feel okay about it. Because, and I posted this on Instagram earlier, health isn't about, the number on a scale or the number of your pant size. It is truly about how you feel and giving yourself credit and, just having that feeling of accomplishment for the small things and the big things. So I hope that was helpful for you today. Again, my name is Meredith Orem. You can find me Below the Fork across all social media channels. My Fit Camp is launching on Monday. If you're interested, find me belowthefork.com/contact. And I'd love to talk to you. So I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.